Welcome to our exciting trip to Greece, Egypt, Turkey, Cyprus, and the Greek Isles. We have a great vacation experience ahead of us. Enclosed are all the special excursions that the cruise line's offering exclusively for our Sunshine Cathedral guests. Space is being held as a guaranteed availability through Friday, August 4th. All reservations after this date are space available based on availability at the time of booking. Now that we're processing all final payments for the trip, we're posting the 2 mandatory payments to the cruise line with your transaction of any excursions. This includes taxes and fees of $249 to the cruise line, as outlined on the flyer, and onboard gratuities of $105, which is $15 per day. These final charges will be included with this transaction if you wish to participate in any of the special excursions while in Europe. Now for our optional excursions. On your arrival day in Athens, we have our Athens Evening Illumination Tour. Welcome to Athens and Night Illumination. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $69. This special tour is designed to assist you to overcome jet lag by keeping you active the first evening to adjust to a sleep pattern that will prevent days of jet lag after a 6-hour time change from the USA. Experience the nighttime side of Athens on this special evening illumination tour of Europe's oldest and most beautiful UNESCO World Heritage City. You'll begin with a sunset visit to Lycabettus Hill. Here you'll ride the famous funicular to the highest point in Athens at 900 feet. At the top, enjoy happy hour and incredible views of the entire city. Your illumination continues with some of the most important sights of the city, all bathed in illumination lights, including Odeon of Herodes Atticus, the Temple of the Athena Nike, Propylaea, and more. Past the Temple of Olympian Zeus and Hadrian's Arch. You'll also see the Panathenaic Stadium, where the first modern Olympic Games were held in 1896. Enjoy your first view of the world-famous Acropolis in special lighting. The site of the Temple of Athena and the Parthenon in illumination is a sight you'll never forget. Our final stop is the world-famous Plaka. This neighborhood is actually the original settlement of old Athens at the basis of the ancient Acropolis. You'll enjoy a walking tour of the old city that explores the history of nearly 3,000 years of civilization. Enjoy that time to sample foods that have made Greece famous the world over. Return to the hotel with a wonderful first experience of Athens. Next is the best of Athens and board the Celestial Journey in Piraeus. This is a private tour exclusively for LGBTQ+ guests at $69. Today will be one of the highlights of your Eastern Mediterranean journey as you explore the best of the oldest UNESCO World Heritage City in Europe. Your professional guide will explore the famous Athens streets and see city signatures including the Acropolis, the Panathenaic Stadium, the Agora of Athens, and the Changing of the Guard. You'll visit one of the world's greatest archaeological museums, the Acropolis Museum. Admission and private tour are included. It features the largest collection of Bronze Age artifacts in the world, including the statue of Alexander the Great from 338 BC. The museum is famous for the glass wall that looks directly at the Acropolis. Next, you'll have one of the great experiences of the world as you visit the Acropolis, and admission and private tour are included. Visit the amazing Parthenon and the Temple of Athena. The Acropolis of Athens and its monuments were built in 500 BC and are the universal symbols of the classical spirit and civilization and form the greatest architectural and artistic complex on earth. Athens, after the victory against the Persians, was the establishment of democracy, and the Acropolis was the political seat that made it the leading position amongst other city-states of the ancient world. Next, you'll visit the famous food markets of the ancient and original city of Athens, of Plaka. The food markets allow you to enjoy great Greek and traditional foods, shopping, and more. This afternoon, you continue sightseeing in this incredible city. Learn about the ancient games of Olympia and the launch of the modern Olympic Games of 1896. See the Temple of Olympian Zeus. It's also called the Olympion, or Temple of Olympian Zeus, and built in honor of the father of the gods, Zeus, who was living at the Mount Olympus summit. Other highlights included the Arch of Hadrian. The Hadrian's Gate in Athens is a Roman arch. It was created in honor of him during his stay in 131 AD and provides entrance to the Temple of Olympian Zeus. You may see the Changing of the Guard ceremony as the Evzones execute the renowned Changing of the Guard on Syntagma, in front of the Unknown Soldier Monument every hour. Before we leave ancient Athens, we see the Greek Parliament Building, Syntagma Square, and the National History Museum. Late this afternoon, we will travel to Piraeus and we'll board the Celestial Journey. Today will be an amazing experience. Next is Port Said, Cairo, Giza Plateau, and Egyptian National Museum. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $49. Depart from Port Said in luxury air-conditioned motor coaches en route to Africa's largest city, the teeming metropolis of Cairo. Your first stop will be the Giza Plateau, where the only remaining wonder of the ancient world, the pyramids of Giza, still stand. You'll see the Great Pyramids of Giza, it's the largest Egyptian pyramid and served as the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu, who ruled under the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. Built in 2600 BC, the pyramid is the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world and the only wonder that's remained largely intact. It's the most famous monument of the Giza Pyramid Complex, which is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Memphis and its necropolis. Giza is part of 3 pyramids. At nearly 500 feet, the Great Pyramid was the world's tallest man-made structure for more than 3,800 years. Next, you see one of the most recognized sites on Earth, the Great Sphinx of Giza. The amazing carving was completed in 2500 BC and is an incredible 240 feet long from paw to tail. Enjoy lunch while on your special trip next to Tahrir Liberty Square, the heart of downtown Cairo. Visit the National Archaeological Museum and acquaint yourself with Egypt's ancient history, spanning a period of over 50 centuries. The museum is the repository of the world's largest and richest collection of Egyptian antiquities, amongst them the priceless collection of King Tutankhamun. Visit Papyrus Institute, where the art of paper making from the reeds discovered by the ancient Egyptians will be demonstrated for you. Limited time for souvenir shopping will also be allocated before you commence the trip back to Port Said and reboard the ship. Next, we visit Ashdod, Jerusalem, and Bethlehem. The Jerusalem and Bethlehem full-day tour is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ guests and is $129. Disembark the ship in Ashdod. This wonderful excursion takes you on a magical tour in the Holy Land. Regardless of religious beliefs, the historical attractions in Jerusalem and Bethlehem are instilled in the hearts of all of us from childhood, and this is your chance to explore the physical evidence that's attributed to biblical stories. The tour starts with a visit to the Mount of Olives, where Jesus is said to have ascended to heaven. You then descend into the Garden of Gethsemane, where it's believed Jesus prayed frequently. It's here that he realized he would be betrayed. Other points of interest included Jerusalem include the Via Dolorosa, Temple on the Mount, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the famous Dome of the Rock on the Islamic shrine, and more. Our tour then continues to Bethlehem, where you visit the Church of the Nativity and Manger Square to experience the birthplace of Jesus. This tour is designed to provide you with the most eye-catching views of Jerusalem and learn about the fascinating history of the city. You'll also learn about the tepid relationship between the Arabs and the Jews. Return to Ashdod and your awaiting ship after this amazing day in the heart of the Holy Land. Next, we visit Cyprus with the Best of Cyprus and UNESCO City of Paphos full-day tour. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $79. Begin with an orientation of Cyprus and the capital of Limassol before leaving the capital. Without a doubt, one of the greatest highlights of the trip is at the beginning of the day. On our drive to Paphos along the coastal road from Limassol, we stop at Petra to Romono, the Rock of the Roman, known across the world as Aphrodite's Rock. It was here, according to Greek mythology, that the goddess of beauty and love was born. It's one of the most photographed and enigmatic places in Cyprus, so have your camera or smartphone at the ready. Situated in the southwest of Cyprus, along the coast from Limassol, you'll discover that Paphos combines the easy charm of a modern holiday resort with a real sense of history and culture. You'll love its picturesque, tavern-lined harbor with a castle at the end. Paphos is one of the most important archaeological sites and historical sites in the Eastern Mediterranean, and the whole town is officially UNESCO listed because of the wealth of these treasures. These include the famous Tomb of the Kings, an absolute must-see for every visitor. Spread over vast areas, these underground tombs date back to the 4th century BC. Although they are the resting place of high officialdom rather than royalty, their magnificence gave them the name. Paphos lies south of one of the most beautiful and environmentally significant parts of Cyprus, the stunning national park of Akamos. After the Tomb of the Kings tour, our excursion takes us to Kato, or Lower Paphos, and it's time for lunch. Afterwards, we call it the Archaeological Park, which features more of the town's antiquity, the house of Dionysus, Ion, and Theseus. The mosaic floors of these noblemen's villas date back to between the 3rd and 5th centuries BC and are considered among the finest in the Eastern Mediterranean. Return to Limassol for an orientation of the capital that includes Limassol Castle, the Cyprus Medieval Museum, and the world-famous marina. Return to the ship with an experience of magnificent Cyprus. Next is Rhodes, with the Acropolis of Lindos and Medieval Rhodes full-day tour. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $89. Note, this tour includes a special skip-the-line admission of the Lindos Acropolis. Built in 1000 BC, it's nearly 500 years older than the Acropolis in Athens, and is the oldest intact settlement of the Bronze Age in Europe. So let's begin in usual fashion with what you won't see in Rhodes. One of the 7 wonders of the ancient world once proudly stood here. He was the Colossus of Rhodes, and of course, long departed, probably destroyed by an earthquake. Nevertheless, as you arrive on this wonderful historic island, you may just be able to imagine this statue of the Greek sun god Helios in 280 BC, standing 100 feet tall in celebration of Rhodes' victory over Cyprus, the largest of the Dodecanese Islands. Rhodes has a compelling backstory, and there are still remnants of its occupation by Britons, Knights of St. John during the Crusades. So while the Colossus may not be there, you will be wowed by many historical sites. We first traveled to Lindos, about 50 miles from Rhodes' historic Old Town. Lindos is an eternal old village, like the Plaka in Athens, and is a postcard version of the White City that's made Greece so famous. High above the village sits the impressive Acropolis of Lindos that was started in 1000 BC. Its main feature is the Doric Temple of Athena, built in 300 BC. Captains' mansions, constructed between the 16th and 18th centuries, are dotted here and there. In the heart of Lindos is the Church of the Virgin Mary, with lovely frescoes from the 15th century. Lindos is a fairy tale village that's the shopper's dream. Later, return back to Rhodes, where you learn about the Crusades and the medieval character of ancient city and its Knights' Quarter. We'll stroll through the Gate d'Ambrose to walk along the Street of the Knights and see where they lived, separated according to order, their crests still visible today. We'll also see outside the imposing palace of the Grand Master of the Knights of the Rhodes, a medieval castle also known as the Castello. It's one of the few examples of Gothic architecture in Greece. The Byzantine citadel was built in the 7th century, the palace itself in the 14th. Where the palace sits today could well have been the spot where once stood the Colossus, according to recent studies. Either way, this tour takes us into the heart of the fascinating history of Rhodes. Sometimes the best way of immersing yourself completely in the history and atmosphere of a place is to explore on foot. And that's exactly what we do on this fascinating tour, where we get to the very heart of medieval Rhodes and the compelling story of the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem. We begin along the Street of Knights in the Old City. It's one of the best preserved medieval thoroughfares anywhere in Europe. Next is the stop in Kousadasi with our Best of Ephesus half-day tour. This is a private tour exclusively for LGBTQ+ guests at $49. Note, ancient Ephesus is not only a UNESCO World Heritage archaeological site, it's the most visited historic site in Europe and Western Asia. Today at ancient Ephesus, you'll find the immortal relics of Hellenistic, Roman, and early Christian era. At the archaeological site, you'll be given a guided tour among the Agora, the Odeon, the Library of Celsius, the marble-paved main street of Corites, the Baths of Scholastica, Trajan's Fountain, the public latrines, the residence of patricians, the Prytaneum, the Temple of Hadrian, the great theater built in the 4th century BC, which could accommodate 24,000 spectators, and is famous even nowadays for its acoustics, the finds from the excavations, which have yet brought to light only 13% of ancient Ephesus, reside in the Archaeological Museum of Ephesus, in the city of Selçuk. Your day couldn't close in a better way than a beautiful walk through the covered bazaar of Kousadasi. Here you'll be able to ramble, bargain for jewelry, cosmetics, or leather products at little shops. During the excursion, you'll have the opportunity to do some shopping, such as carpets, jewelry, leather, and other souvenirs. Next, we return to Athens for a Cape Sunion and Temple of Poseidon full-day tour. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $59, and this is a discounted price for Sunshine Cathedral guests. Note, your Athens hotel room will not be available until after 3 p.m., and this tour will handle your bags until check-in. Also to note, guests on the Mykonos Santorini Post Tour are highly encouraged to participate in the Cape Sunion and Temple of Poseidon tour. It'll allow you to arrive at the Athens airport easily in time for your afternoon flight to Mykonos. Today, you leave your cruise ship with an orientation of lovely Piraeus. This historic village is the gateway to the sea and launches ships across the world. Today's experience allows us to experience outside the city of Athens. Travel south to the very southern tip of the archipelago of Greek mainland. Your travel allows you to watch some amazing views of the Saronic Gulf. See Lake Vouliagmeni, a short stop, one of Athens' most photographed locations. Vouliagmeni Lake is the result of volcanic eruption which lies below sea level. A lake by the sea, certainly one of a kind. Next, visit one of Greece's most famous and picturesque coastal viewpoints as you travel to world-famous Cape Sonion. Travel along South Attica's scenic shoreline roads to reach the ancient temple of Poseidon. Built atop a towering sea cliff with fantastic views of the Aegean, explore the ruins of this temple dedicated to the Greek god of the sea, and then have time to explore the beautiful village of Sunion for lunch on your own and shopping. Return to the hotel in the heart of Athens in time for check-in and some time to rest up for your Saturday night in Athens. Saturday Night in Gay Athens Tour. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $49, and this is a discounted price for Sunshine Cathedral. It's Saturday night in Gay Athens. This evening is designed to show you the best of the Greek gay community. Start with an amazing rooftop visit where you'll enjoy a drink at one of the city's best rooftop restaurants and bars. You have an opportunity for appetizers and a full meal with amazing views of the city in the heart of the neighborhood of Athens. Next, you'll enjoy a walking tour of the neighborhood. Enjoy learning about the history of the Greek gay community and how our community experiences day-to-day existence in Athens. You'll visit a drag show to experience a traditional local drag show, and you'll enjoy a complimentary drink. You'll visit a second famous gay bar in Athens with a complimentary drink. This is Saturday night in Athens and a perfect way to experience the best of LGBTQ+ Greek experience in Athens. Next is our Athens Best of Greek Countryside and Historic Delphi Evening Tour. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $79, and this is a discounted price for Sunshine Cathedral. Today you have the opportunity to get out of Athens and see the real Greece. Travel north into the famous Olympic Mountains and the home of the gods, Mount Olympus. Immerse yourself in the myths and monuments of classical Greece in this full-day tour of Delphi from Athens. Explore the UNESCO-listed archaeological site of Delphi and learn how the city was considered the center of the world in ancient Greece. The world-famous Oracle of Delphi began as the world's beacon for predictions of the future in 800 BC. Stand in awe before the dramatically situated Temple of Apollo, and then discover long-lost wonders at the Delphi Archaeological Museum, including the Charioteer of Delphi and the Sphinx of Naxos. Time for lunch in Delphi on your own, and you'll visit the handcrafts and beautiful towns of Arakova and Levadia on the way back to Athens. Today's visit allows you to experience the scenic mountains of central Greece and will be a completely different sightseeing experience of ancient Greece. Next, it's the Athens This is Sparta, featuring the Corinth Canal, Mycenae, Epidaurus, and the Nafplio Evening Tour. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $79, which is a discounted price for Sunshine Cathedral. Today's excursion may be the most interesting of your entire visit to Greece. Choosing a tour from Athens can be tough, and today's journey is right out of the movie The 300, as it explores the land of Sparta and Western Greece. First, you'll visit the historic Corinth Canal. The Corinth connection dates back to Julius Caesar times. So much history exists here, including the disciple of Jesus, St. Paul. Next, we travel to the heart of Christian Greek and Roman Greece of Epidaurus. See the ancient theater, one of the best preserved of the ancient Greek times. Epidaurus became the most important seat of power after Roman Emperor Hadrian visited it in AD 124. Epidaurus became the seat of Christianity in Greece that ultimately silenced the oracles. Continue to the beautiful seaside town of Nafplio, commonly referred to as Italy's Sorrento or Positano. It's a tourist haven with beautiful shopping lanes and fabulous outdoor cafes. Time for lunch in the beautiful seaside Nafplio. Nafplio used to be the capital of Greece before Athens, and its architecture has Venetian, Byzantine, Ottoman, and modern Greek influences. Admire the main attractions like the Castle of Bortuzzi, the Acropolia, and the Castle of Palamidi, built on top of the hill, as well as various picturesque squares in the city center. Finally, you'll visit one of the world's most important UNESCO World Heritage Sites of Mycenae. Long before Athens or Rome was the central power of the world, there was Mycenaean, The power of Mycenaean Greece was the first city-state power. Mycenaean represents the first advanced and distinctly Greek civilization in mainland Greece, and they were the creation of urban organization, works of art, writing systems, and most important of all, an advanced military. Mycenae is considered the greatest and richest kingdom of the Late Bronze Age, around 2000 BC to 1350 BC. Even the legendary author Homer was inspired by Mycenae to compose his epic poem of Iliad. You'll walk around an incredible archaeological park, pass through the great Dionysius Gate, explore the ancient treasure of Atreus known as King Amynin's tomb, as well as finally it's the farewell illumination cocktails, dinner, and Greek show evening tour. This is a private tour exclusively for our LGBTQ+ guests at $79, which is a discounted price for Sunshine Cathedral. Your final night in Athens will be a special one, as you get to enjoy traditional Greek folkloric entertainment combined with a delicious Greek dinner. You'll visit the Plaka and enjoy a wonderful sightseeing experience on the tiny Plaka train. This sightseeing tram is a wonderful way to explore the oldest part of Athens. Next, you'll love to visit to one of the most popular tavernas in Athens, where you'll enjoy a musical program with Greek folk costumes and dances from all over Greece. Also, the Oriental dances will delight you. The Stritaki Zorbas Greek and Zibikekos dance and traditional songs promise a night you'll never forget. You'll dance with their professional and very experienced dancers. You'll soon learn the basic steps of the most popular Greek dances. The show is interactive and everyone is welcome. The folk costumes of the dancers are all handmade, and every regional dance demands its proper costume. Taste a wide variety of traditional Greek delicacies while viewing our folk music program. You can relax and enjoy your dinner and drink. Nearly all food ingredients are from Greece, and this is a perfect way to bring our Eastern Mediterranean journey to a close.